computer. Okay, let me record it to the computer, and if needed, I'll just share it with you guys as a YouTube link. Nice, superb. Okay, guys, what we could probably do while others join in is that we could do a small round of introduction, each one of you. Quick, one by one. So I'll start with the way that we are put up over here in the order. So Bhavish.
Yes, sir. My name is Bhavnesh. My age is 9. I'm in 4th grade. I live in Bangalore, Karnataka.
Nice. Next would be Divyesh.
From Tamil Nadu, Kerala, sir. My name is Sandesh and I am studying in Kerala.
Divyesh. Hey, you can unmute and talk. Okay, Akshobhai.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hi.
My name is Akshobhya.
Uh-huh.
I'm studying in 4th grade.
Okay.
I'm from Bangalore, but I'm living Gujarat.
Fantastic, man. Okay. Next one. Okay, I think a lot of people are joining in. So if you are going to do an individual introduction, it's going to take too much of time. Why don't you guys type down your details? So let me know your name, which class you are studying, where you are joining me from. All these 3 details. That's much easier, right? Your name, which class you are studying, and where you are joining us from. Yuakshi. Nice. Guys, have your video on for some time. Probably till we get into the session. Okay. Have your video on so that I can see you guys.
Sir?
Yes.
I don't know why, but today my camera is not working.
No problem. If it's not working, no worries.
I think.
Okay.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Okay, Yuakshi from class 6, Krishna, Harana class 3, Yuakshi is from Gorakhpur, Tanvi class 3, Krishna is class 4 from Bangalore, Akshobhai, okay, Parth, 3rd standard from Maharashtra, Jayant, 3rd grade, Karnataka. Okay, guys, I'm gonna put all of you on mute. Nice. Okay, and then we have Sumed, Dhruv, Divyesh, Bhavnesh, Jishnu Srinikesh from Hyderabad, Ishan from Maharashtra, Harish Kannan from Trichy. Wow, nice Harish. Harish, I'm also from Trichy. Johan, okay, Kanak Prasad from Tirupati, Atar, Vishrut. Nice. Superb, Darsh. Nice to have you here. Shlok is grade 2. Darsh, class 3. Fantastic. Superb, man. So I hope that you guys are, enjoying the program, learning about stargazing and stuff like that. What we are going to do today is that I hope you guys know about me. I'm learning coach Vinod. I think for 3-4 days you guys have been seeing my videos now. I'm also chief coach to India for the World Robot Olympiad and also a NASA certified trainer on Mars Student Space Imaging Program. I really love teaching kids like you guys. Okay, so hope you guys are enjoying the program. what we are going to do today is that we are going to do an informal question and answer session. So whatever questions that you guys have about space science and astronomy, you guys can start putting it up in the chat box, and I'll start answering one by one in the same order, and probably up until 7:30 we can have this conversation. Okay, superb. So you can start typing your questions. Now I am right now you guys can switch off your videos, but please be here, please be attentive, and any questions that you have, you can put it up. Is that informal? It's informal. So we don't have a problem format, we don't have a structure saying that, hey, you have to ask me this thing, you have to ask me that thing. So you can ask me anything that you want. That's why it's called as informal. So what is a star made up of? So stars are made up of gases. So you guys have learned it on day one. Stars are made up of gases, and predominantly it is made up of two different gases. So hydrogen and helium. Okay, when hydrogen and helium, when they come together, in simple, it's like hydrogen and helium coming together. When they come together, they produce a lot of energy, that's heat and light. Okay, so this is what we see in stars. When you go in detail, you can find a few hydrogen molecules. So it's called deuterium and tritium hydrogen molecules. So when they fuse together, they release an electron, which is the energy that we see from the sun. So they release an electron, and they change into helium. So predominantly hydrogen and helium are the gases that you find in a star. So is a supernova dangerous? Okay. So is a supernova dangerous? See, it's the death of a star. So it depends on where you are. Is an explosion, bomb explosion, dangerous? Tell me yes or no by shaking your head. Is a bomb explosion dangerous? Yes, it's dangerous. Okay. So imagine you are watching a bomb explosion in your TV. Is it dangerous? No. Okay, imagine a bomb explosion happening probably 1 kilometer away from you. It's a small bomb. Dangerous? No. So similarly, supernova, where it happens makes a big difference. So if it's going to happen in the vicinity of our sun, so in the vicinity of our sun, there is no big star to make a supernova. Okay, we don't have to worry about that at all. So even our sun will not get into becoming a supernova. So we don't have to worry about that. So if a star which is kind of like very, very far away, yesterday, I think in the voice message, I did tell you guys about Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is supposed to get into a supernova. It's there at the supernova stage. But Betelgeuse is about 600 light years away from us, I believe. So if it is going to be 600 light years away from us, even if it is going to get into a supernova, nothing is going to happen to us. Yesterday, one of you guys shared a video of 1 quadrillion kilometers away, a star is going to get into supernova. Nothing is going to happen. What could happen is that probably for a few months, okay, a lot of celestial events happen only few minutes or few days. Okay, whereas a supernova, when it happens in the night sky, you would be able to see it for a few months. That's the only big difference. So slowly, the supernova, when the gas explodes from a star, what happens is that all that gas will slowly condense to become nebulas. So nebulas we'll be able to see in the night sky using a powerful telescope. Okay, next question. I did not understand. Okay, let me come from the beginning. Okay. So what is the farthest star from Earth? I don't know, man. We are still, finding a lot of stuff. So we won't know which is the farthest star from Earth right now. It's easy to quantify which is nearest. So we'll not know which is farthest because there are billions and billions of them, and we have only found out like few thousands. So what is the nearest black hole? So it is estimated that all the galaxies, okay, all the galaxies have a supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy. Okay, so technically, then the nearest black hole or the very big black hole that is present in our universe is probably in the center of our Milky Way galaxy. It's called Sagittarius A. So if you guys want to see Sagittarius A, I can show you Sagittarius A. You guys are able to see my screen, right? Can you see my desktop screen? Say yes or no. Can you see my desktop screen? Yes. Okay. So this is Sagittarius A. So this is a picture of Sagittarius A taken from the Tour of Our Universe program. Okay. Has any escaped from the event horizon of a black hole? We do not know, man. So the event horizon of see the black hole, the center of our Milky Way galaxy. Okay. So the black hole is about 28,000 light years away from us. If we are able to travel at the speed of light, it will take 28,000 years to reach to the black hole. So only then we will know whether more details about the black hole. So far, the black hole, the concept of black hole was actually proposed about 100 years ago. About 60 years ago, 70 years ago, Albert Einstein gave the general theory of relativity based on the presence of a black hole. But those were all science fiction at that time. Those were all only theoretical concepts. No one had any proof of the existence of a black hole. Only 3 years ago, okay, scientists had the first picture taken of a black hole. So before that time, we did not know. Till before 3 years ago, we did not have proof of the existence of a black hole. Only 3 years ago, we did find the proof of the existence of a black hole. Okay. So what is a cluster? A cluster is a place where stars are born either at the same period of time. Okay. If let's say 1,000 stars are born at the same time, that's you call it as a cluster. Or if it is born out of the same nebula. Okay. So nebula is where stars are born. So even then you call it as a cluster. There are different kinds of clusters. You have open clusters and you have globular clusters. So each one of them have got different meanings. Okay. Okay, sir, a super explosion that occurs when a red giant or supergiant has ran out of fuel. So this is called a supernova. So when a red giant or a supergiant, when it runs out of fuel, so when it explodes, it's called as a supernova. When a star dies, it dies in different ways. It doesn't die in one single way. So just like how we human beings, we die in different ways. We die due to natural death. Okay, we grow old and then we die, or else we see that people get some kind of disease and people die. Okay, COVID is a great example. Sometimes due to accidents people die. Okay, just like us, stars also has got different ways to die. So one such way is the supernova. You have a star. The star slowly, all the gases come together and they start forming a star. And just like you guys, a star when it is born, it will look like a small baby. So when it grows, okay, it'll start growing big. And then when it becomes an adult, you call it as a main sequence star. Okay, so our sun is a main sequence star. So it grows, and then when it grows into a middle-aged guy, so probably the age of your parents. So I'm about 35 now, so I'm hoping that many of your parents would be about 35, 40. So when it grows to their age, okay, so you call it as a supergiant or a giant star. After that, when it grows old, it could probably die. One such way of dying, it's going to grow big till that point. At one stage, what it could do is that it can just give away all the gas, all the heat and light that it produces. It can just give away and it will become a white dwarf. So you call it as a white dwarf. You can see a few white dwarfs in the night sky. Next thing that it can die is that it can grow big and it can boom, do an explosion. This is called as the supernova. Okay. Next thing, if the star is very, very big, what it will do is that it will start contracting itself. Okay, if it slowly contract itself, what would happen is that it would start spinning on its own axis and be called as a neutron star. Okay, and then if it if it at an instance, okay, how you know how fast black holes are made within a second, a huge star, within a second, it will just, vanish. It will become a black hole. So if it dies within a second, what it does is that it becomes a black hole. So there are different ways, and each and every way has got a different kind of a death again. So that's not the end stage. So again, supernova is not the end stage. So when a supernova happens, over millions of years, the gas and dust which are there in the star, it will become a nebula. When a neutron star is there, the neutron star would die a different way. Black holes also die. It's not like black holes can live forever. Black holes also die. So, but just that in the scheme of our universe, time is kind of like, our universe is kind of like a really, 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 really old guy. Okay, so time is, it has eternity. So it can take as much time as it wants to do that birth and death and stuff like that. It's not like us. So we only live for like 100, 110 years maximum, I'm telling. Okay, so universe can go for millions and billions and trillions of years. Okay, why do some stars get bigger and burst? So we just saw why. So because of their size, because of the amount of gas that they have. So if there's so much of gas in the star making process, they come together and they become big. So I do not understand how to find north using stars. See, technically speaking, is it possible for you to find north using stars? Not possible. Okay, unless or until you are looking at the North Star. So finding out the North Star is not going to be easy, because only if you are in the middle half of the northern hemisphere, the North Star is visible to you above the horizon. Sometimes, so from I live in Trichy, okay, which is very close to the southern border, southern tip of India. Okay, in Trichy, we won't be able to see the North Star. If I go out and try to check out the North Star, I'll either see trees near the North Star. Okay, that's the height of the horizon. Okay, or I will see tall buildings. So it's not possible for me to find out the north using stars. But how I find out north is that I know on day one you guys did learn about diurnal motion. Yes? Say yes. Give me a thumbs up. Diurnal motion. Okay. Through diurnal motion, you know that stars as well as planets rise in the east and sets in the west. The sun, the moon, planets, stars, all of it rise in the east and sets in the west. So if you are going to go out tonight, okay, and if you start looking at the horizon all around you, you will at one point find stars coming up, and at one point you will find stars going down. So whichever side that the star is coming up, which side would it be? Type down. Type down. Which side would be the one that stars come up? Stars that are coming up? East. Very good. So it would be east. So stars going down would be west. So when I'm sitting right now in front of you guys, east is this direction. So the left of me is east, the right of me is west. So I could know that either by looking out the stars, or I know where the sun rises and sun sets. So if this is east and this is west, I know which is north, which is south. So this is north, this is south. This is one way of finding directions. Okay. Next way of finding directions is that you can, once you start looking at the stars, you would notice certain constellations present in certain places. Okay. For instance, the Big Dipper. We were talking about Big Dipper. Big Dipper will be found in the north direction. Okay, it'll start at northeast, okay, and set at northwest. It will not start at northeast and go all the way to southwest. Okay, it will start at northeast and set at northwest. That's how you will be able to find out. Similarly, Orion. Orion would be there in the diurnal path, okay, in the ecliptic path. Okay, you will be able to find it very, very close to the ecliptic path. There are certain southern constellations. So when you see it in the night sky, you will see it in the south. It will rise in the southeast and it will set in the southwest. That's how it's easy for you to find directions. Okay, let me go back. Wow. Guys, remember, I've been like begging you guys, literally. I did not, go on my knees and say, hey, please ask me questions in the WhatsApp group. So if you guys would have started asking me questions in the WhatsApp group, I would have started, shooting videos and sending you answers to all these questions. Now see, another 10 more minutes left. And now is the time that you guys have 150 messages, 150 questions for me. Very bad. Okay. Next question. Where am I? To find out question, I think it's going to take me like 5-6 minutes. What is the difference between a supernova and a hypernova? If it's from a supergiant, it's a supernova. If it's from a hypergiant, bigger than a supergiant, it's called as a hypernova. If when a binary star system collides, does a black hole form? No. So when a binary star system collides, black holes do not form. Does sun has layers of atmosphere? You don't call the atmosphere of sun as an atmosphere, but our sun does have atmosphere. So our sun does have a surface. It's called granular, and then there are different layers of the sun. Just like how our Earth has got different layers. Our Earth has got a core, a mantle, a crust, and then an atmosphere. Similarly, the sun has got a core, and then there are different zones of the sun. Okay, and then there is a surface. Surface is not technically like a hard surface that we talk about, but the sun has got granules, hot bubbles, coming out of the sun, and then there are solar flares which are there in the sun. So, but it doesn't have an or you can say the sun has a very big atmosphere. So, and we are all inside of sun's atmosphere. We can call it as heliosphere. Okay, sun's heliosphere. So it extends all the way up until the Oort cloud. So where comets are there. So all the objects which are there in the sun's atmosphere, you can call it as heliosphere. 1 light years equal to how many miles? Probably you can Google it and find out, buddy. So that's much easier. And how does a black circle is formed in the black hole? So guys, with regards to the black hole, it would be easier when you see a black hole and study about it. So if you guys would have been part of the tour of our universe, it would have been much easier, where we simulate and show you how the black hole is formed, how the event horizon is formed, how the light around the black hole is kind of like. So maybe what I would do is that I would share a TED video on black hole. So that was very nice. So I'll share a TED video on black hole as soon as this call is over, and then you can learn more of. When a binary star system, which place can we spot stars? On your terrace, go out. So obviously from a room, you will not be able to spot the stars. You will only be able to see the ceiling. Okay, go out. You should be able to spot the stars. Number one reason, a lot of you guys were like, yeah, I went out, I saw there is no stars. Technically, since we live in a heavy light polluted area, it's not possible for us to go and start looking at stars from minute one. So you need to go sit in a dark place, okay, and wait out till your eyes get adjusted to the night sky. If your eyes get adjusted to the night sky, you will be able to see at least 3,000 objects with your naked eyes. In a highly light polluted area, you will be able to see at least 100 stars. But you need to take that time. So go out 15 minutes, half an hour, plan to be there in your terrace, plan to be there outside of your house. Okay. So go to a park, an open park near to your place. Okay. If it's not possible, I know this is going to be the lockdown. It's not possible to go to all these places. Okay. Don't worry. You are all learning tools right now. So stars are not going to go anywhere. Even if human beings do not exist, stars would be there. Remember, they are that old, and they are going to be for another few million years. So take your time. Maybe when you guys go out of the city with your family, you can ask them to stop the car on the highways. So usually highways are the best places to look at the stars. 15-20 minutes, all of you together can sit and start doing stargazing. Okay, remember that. And you also have Stellarium, very big gift. Okay, so how many of you guys have started using Stellarium? Show a thumbs up. Nice, nice. Okay, Stellarium is one of the best tools. So you can spend probably hours and hours of time doing stargazing on the inside using Stellarium. So you can simulate stars at different point of time. What I usually do is that take my laptop to the terrace. Okay, I sit with my laptop, switch on Stellarium, and when I see a star, first I look with my naked eyes. When I see a star, okay, I see a star over here. What I do is that I simulate Stellarium to my exact time, and I'll be able to find out what that star is. So maybe try to name that star and see if I can remember the name of the star next day. Every day you can, every week you can take up an assignment of finding 5 stars. Okay, so go to your terrace, identify 5 stars using Stellarium. Tomorrow, go back again at the same time, try to identify these 5 stars. So maybe next day, take up your laptop, check out if your identification is right. So this way, for a week, if you are able to learn 5 stars, in a month, you will be able to know 30 stars. Okay, so imagine you go out with your parents, you go out with your friends. Okay, you see a star and you are like, hey, this is Vega. Okay, this is Deneb. Hey, this is Sirius. Hey, this is Betelgeuse. Hey, this is Rigel. You know, Rigel is the biggest star. It's a hypergiant. Okay, probably million times bigger than our sun. So once you start telling these kind of information to your friends, so they will always think that you guys are super cool. You guys want to be super cool? Huh? Yeah. So take your laptop, go to your terrace, and start identifying stars. That's a fantastic hobby. Okay. Okay. Some more questions. So is the death of a star birth of a new star? Death of a star technically doesn't bring about the birth of a new star. But as a supernova happens, what happens is that the star in a supernova you have gas and dust. Okay, so the star explodes and become gas and dust, and slowly when the gas and dust, the heat of the supernova subsides down. Inside of this gas and dust, you will have new stars born. So it's like how energy can neither be destroyed or nor created. It can only be transferred from one form to another. All the gas and dust in our universe cannot be destroyed. So it will take shape from one form to another. It will become the gas would become a star. The dust would become planets. The dust would become asteroids. The dust would become moon. The dust would become something else. Comets. Okay, all these things would happen. Slowly, when the solar system dies, what would happen? It will again become dust. So it again star making process would happen, and as stars form around it, the dust would solidify and form different objects. So this is how the star cycle repeats. Which constellation has the most number of stars? I think it should be Andromeda. Okay, but I'm not sure. So maybe you guys can check. So the constellation is not a celestial thing technically. Okay, constellation is not something that the universe did. Constellation is something that we did. It's like naming stars. So just because we name stars, we can't say that we discovered them or we can call it as our own. So what we have done with regards to constellation is that we have broken down the sky into different parts so that it's easy for us to identify what stars, what galaxies are there in those different parts. It's just like having a map on Earth. Okay, if someone says, how many of you guys know where Trichy is? See, I don't see a lot of you guys putting up your hand. So how many of you guys know where Tamil Nadu is? Still, some of you guys have not put up your hand. How many of you guys know South India is? Okay, see, now all of you guys will put up your hand. Yeah, I know where South India is. So in South India, there is a state called Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, there is a city called Trichy. And in Trichy, there is some area that is where I am. Similarly, what we have for skies, okay, if I'm going to ask you to go out and find Betelgeuse, will you be able to find Betelgeuse? No, not many would know where Betelgeuse is. Okay, Betelgeuse is a red star. Probably there are 100 red stars in the night sky. So you will not know which one is Betelgeuse. But if I tell you, hey, go find out Orion constellation, you will be able to find out the Orion constellation. So many of you guys would know the Orion Hunter constellation. Okay. So in the Hunter constellation, again, there will be like many stars. So I'll be like, hey, in the Orion constellation, look out for the left side. You will find a very bright red star. Okay. This red star is Betelgeuse. Now it's easy for you to find out. So its constellations are map of the night sky. Okay, map of our sky. So we have broken down the sky into 360 degrees and mapped it out and called this as constellations. Remember, if you go to Mars, you will not find the same constellations because Earth and Mars are at different places. So if you go to some places, you will not find the same constellation. Maybe if we go to Moon, we'll be able to see the same constellation because Moon and Earth are not very far away. But if you go someplace else, we will not be able to find the same constellations. Okay. If a hypergiant replaces our sun, what would happen? Maybe I'll take this as the last question. Okay. What we will do is that, let me do a screen share one more time. I'll show you what would happen if a hypergiant replaces our sun. Okay. So just give me 2 minutes. A new tool is getting loaded. How can we find out the color of the stars? Just run up, just by looking. Just by looking, you can find out the color of the stars. If it's blue, it'll shine blue. If it is white, it will shine white. If it is yellow, you can find faint yellow color there. Red, it will be very visibly looking as red. Maybe orange will also look at like red, but then you can classify them. Once you start identifying them with the stellarium, you will know which one is which. It's loading, guys. Give me a minute. Sir, may Voyager 1 be able to see black hole? Okay. Good example. I'll give you a good example. Okay. Right now, Voyager 1 is about 2 light days away from us. Light days. Okay. So imagine today's date is 16th of April. Okay, 2021. If we are traveling at the speed of light, we would reach out the black hole Sagittarius in 28,000 years. Okay, so that will be, we will reach out on April 16th, 26,021 years from here. So the year would be 26,000. 26,000 years it will take. So 28,021 will be the year that we will reach the black hole. That's how far the black hole is. Voyager is 2 days away from us. So probably Voyager will reach there on 14th of April 2621. That's how far Voyager is. Okay. So it doesn't make big difference. Voyager won't be able to see the black hole. It's just 2 days away from us in terms of light travel. Okay. Let me do a screen share. Okay, we are here inside of a tool. Your question is, what would happen if instead of a sun, there is a hypergiant? So what I'm going to do right now is that I'm going to pause time. I'm going to pause time and then I'm going to, boom, delete the sun. So now we don't have a sun in our solar system. Okay. What I'm going to do is that I'm going to add a random known star. Oops, sorry, let me add a nice star. So Rigel is a hypergiant. I did tell you. Okay. So it's a supergiant. Betelgeuse is also a supergiant. Alpha Centauri are all small stars. Vega is a main sequence. Procyon, Achernar, Altair. I'm just checking out for a main sequence. All these are main sequence. Regulus, Deneb. Okay, let's put out Deneb. Okay, or UI Scute. Scute should be there. Okay, we have Canis Major. This again is supergiant. Okay, all these are super giant. So, but let me put UISQT in there. Okay. I'm going to place UISQT at the place where the sun is. Can you check out the star? The size of the star is actually much bigger than the size of our solar system. If I'm going to place this instead of our sun, you could see that. Okay, you could see that. Boom, our solar system is no more. That's how big the star is. No more. So you can see Uranus and Neptune slowly, maybe over time, what would happen is that it would come and it would get destroyed out over there. Okay, so this is what is going to happen when we place a hypergiant in there. Some of you guys who wanted to see a supernova. So what I'm going to do is that let me explode YUSQT, but the explosion won't be enough. Let me delete it. Okay, so let me delete it and let me place a small star. Let me place the sun. See how small our sun is, how small, how big YUSQT was. Okay, and what I'm going to do is that I'm going to explode our sun. So when our sun explodes, nothing's happening. You can see the sun has exploded into different pieces, but nothing has happened. So it doesn't make any big sense if the sun explodes. Okay, maybe we'll just add one more star in here. Let's add Betelgeuse. You can see the size of Betelgeuse. And then one more time. Okay, you can see the explosion of our sun. Okay, I am exploding Betelgeuse. You can see the explosion of Betelgeuse in there. This is called as a cosmic explosion. Okay. Okay, guys, I think we are exceeding time. So hope you guys had some clear idea of what these celestial happenings are. Okay. With that, I think we are going to end this session, and what we will do is that ask me whatever questions that you have in our WhatsApp group. I have another class right now at 8 o'clock, 8 to 8:30. I have another session. So as soon as that is over, I'll start answering all your questions, and we'll talk out over there. Which app is this? This is called as a Sandbox. Okay, it's called as a Sandbox. Fantastic app, and looking forward to see you on Sunday. Okay, all of you guys are going to be here on Sunday? Yes? Nice, nice, very good. I'm going to ask you a question right now in the group, so please answer to that question in the group right now. Okay, see you all Sunday. Bye-bye. Yeah.